For the register, our teacher asks like how we're feeling from 1 to 5. 1 is the best and 5 is like the worst. And if you're feeling like 4 or 5 or more, then she asks like if we want to talk about it and stuff.
Oh, that's so good.
Here at this primary school in London, children are being encouraged to talk about their feelings as part of Children's Mental Health Week.
If you don't talk about it, it can be in your head forever.
You should talk to maybe like a teacher or parents, yeah, because they would know what to do and they would also give you advice.
When you're feeling stressed or anxious, what do you try and do to feel better then?
Try and take a little nap and try and imagine about something else.
I really like to play games. That's what makes me feel better. I try and journal and draw because I feel really comfortable with being creative.
That's your job to do that.
You might recognise Katie. She presents Life Hacks on BBC Radio 1, but she's also a trained counsellor and an ambassador for the mental health charity Place to Be. Having the occasional worry is really normal, but is there a point where it might get too far and you might need some help?
Yeah, absolutely. Worrying is just a normal thing that we all go through from time to time. But if you've noticed that it's been going on for a long time, so for example, you've been worrying for weeks and weeks and it doesn't feel like it's going away, perhaps it's affecting your schoolwork or your time with your friends and family or your hobbies, that might be a sign that perhaps you need to ask for some help.
I think that sometimes it might be hard to talk about mental health because you might be embarrassed of what the reaction of the other person will be and how they will treat you after that.
For some children, speaking to someone about your feelings and your mental health might feel like too much. So any advice for them on what support they could look for?
I think journaling or writing in a diary is really, really good. I do this a lot. It's almost the same thing as telling somebody in a way. You've not got their response, but you can write down how you're feeling, and sometimes that just helps you to figure out what you're going through.
I remember when I was at school, I was so scared about my SATs. And Place to Be say that now, for children in primary and secondary schools, exam stress and school are their biggest worries.
I'm worrying a lot because if I forget the lessons that I'm learning, then I might get a bad grade in my SATs.
And it does bring lots of stress, like especially SATs, because that's a really big thing.
Some of the things we worry about we can't really avoid, so like exam stress is a really big one for children. So what advice do you give for feeling better about worries you can't avoid?
It's great to get good exam results, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. Factor in some time to do your studying or your homework, so say that's an hour after you've eaten your tea, and then factor in a good amount of time to do something that makes you feel better. If we can all do one thing today, go through your day feeling like you can speak out, and hopefully you'll be listened to and your voice will matter.
And if you want to know more about Children's Mental Health Week and why it's important, head to the Newsround website.